Hey guys, Aaron here with another video, and hope everybody is doing great out there. And so now I've done 2 videos on this pin already, and I've had several people comment or ask questions in regards to how I got the nib, the FPR flex nib to work in this pin. Now, I was kind of cleaning it out because I really wanted to change out the ink, and I haven't totally decided what ink I want to do. So there is no nib or section in there. Where did it go is the question. Well, it's over here. So I'm going to start throwing some stuff. I'm not really prepared for this. I'm literally going to just bring in some tissue. I apologize. Might take a while for this video actually gets out there. So there is the nib and feed housing right there. And dry this off a little bit. I've rinsed everything off. So here is our feed, and I was going to polish this nib a little bit, but I'll just dry it off for the sake of this video. And here is our nib, and then of course there's our converter. So there's everything essentially, well, minus of course the section. So there essentially is everything right there. Now, real quick, I'm going to grab an actual steel flex nib, because I know not a lot of you are going to probably purchase the 14K FPR nib, partially maybe due to price or just if whether or not you really want to try it out. But a lot of people, of course, are going to get the steel one. And I apologize. I think my wife is printing off a bunch of stuff, so if you hear a printer going, that is why. As I said, I am not prepared for this at all, and I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so I've set all the other pieces off to the side, and you'll see I've got my steel flex nib here. Now I'm going to take this apart real quick. This is a FPR Himalaya. I have done a review on this pen. I don't really actually probably need to take that barrel off. And if you do not own some of this stuff, let me zoom out here. And if you guys do not own some of this stuff, like anything that's really rubbery like this is like drawer liner that you can get from like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, anywhere. And this stuff works well to kind of pull nibs and feeds out of sections. You got rubber like this. I think I got this off of Goulet as like a little kit. You can tell this thing has been used a lot, and it works really well. So I'm going to see if I can get this nib out easily. I should. Normally they come out. Yep, came right out. Put the feed off to the side. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this is let's look at these 2 nibs side by side and see if this is something that could work. So now these are technically 5.5 nibs. Now these are nibs. Now just looking at them from the naked eye, at least from my perspective, both of these nibs are about the same in length. And the next question is, are the shoulders the same? So let's flip them over. It'll be a little bit easier to see. And from my perspective, these nibs are very, very similar in size. Now we can take this steel one, kind of put it on top, and there's really not a huge difference between the 2. Now that I say that, you'll notice the steel one is down below there. It does look like the shoulders on this one are going to be wider. So that makes me wonder, because I think I had someone comment that they were having issues fitting the steel flex nib into their Moonman M100, which would make sense because this one fit in pretty easily. I didn't really have to do a lot to finagle it to get in. This steel one definitely has some wider shoulders here, so that may be inhibiting it from going into the pen. So over here on the left, I've actually thrown in a Schmidt nib in here. This is actually the exact nib that came with my M100. And when you really look at it, even though this is a number 5, these are supposed to be 5.5, there's not a huge amount of difference in the overall size of the nib, in my opinion. Now, let's take this steel one and really put them close together. And we can kind of do the same test and see shoulder wise. So you'll see that that steel one definitely is fatter. It's got a lot, wider shoulders. It's the one underneath, of course. Get that to focus. So it definitely is going to be wider than the Schmidt nib. Now, if we put this Schmidt nib with the FPR here, you'll actually notice that this nib, the Schmidt nib underneath, is definitely going to have some wider shoulders. So there might be some issues fitting those nibs in. Now, real quick, I'm going to try something. Now, you'll definitely notice that, and I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there's definitely a gap there with this and the FPR Flex nib. So unfortunately, I just don't see this working, this setup working. Whereas when I put the gold nib in here, there's no gap, and there's actually a cutout back here for the Schmidt nib, and this Flex nib actually fits on it very well. Actually pushing on it to try and get it to slide past this part right here where my left thumb is at, and it will not move. And I'll kind of give you an idea. So if I slide this nib right there, there's the contact. However, when I actually do the same thing with this FPR Flex nib, you see it just goes right past it. So really the point of this video is, unfortunately, this steel Flex nib, as much as I would love for it to work, it's not going to work. If you do have this 14K FPR Flex, I've gotten it to work. It fits in there and it writes. So there you can see it. I've got it in there. Really not real difficult to get it in there, quite honestly. Making sure I got my nib lined up with my feet, and it is. It's pretty good and lined up. So kind of see it a little bit better. So again, works with this gold nib, but unfortunately just with the steel nib, because like I was saying, the portion right here I think is a little bit more narrow, but it definitely has some wider shoulders, and it just doesn't line up very well with that feed. I'm sure someone can do some modifications to the nib. I'm not that person, but I did want to do this video just so you guys can kind of see it, and again, not too hard to get this gold nib on there. All right, we're back, guys. So I've got everything loaded up in here. I have filled the pen, and I filled it with some of this diamine brandy dazzle. I've got this huge bottle. It's a 50 ml bottle. This is like a shimmering ink, like kind of like a gold tone ink. I want to see how it would perform with this nib and feed combo. It may clog up the feed, so I may have some flow issues, but I still wanted to try it out just for the heck of it. Not bad, granted, just starting to write, so see how it keeps going. I love this ink. It's beautiful ink. You'll just see it like lays down tons of ink. When this ink really dries, it usually is really cool. Just do some regular writing, really no pressure. So you can kind of see the difference in the overall line width. I know you guys, if you've already seen the other video, you've seen this pen and nib in action, but I just figured I would show it one more time. If you guys have one of these nibs, try this out. It definitely works. And again, you can get some pretty gnarly, line variation. There's no pressure. Oh, there's my first railroad. starting to have some opportunities now. Kind of let that feed resaturate, and you're seeing, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you're seeing some of this ink, and now you can see that sheen starting to dry. It's just really cool ink. There we go. There we see it. So again, just some really solid line variation with this pen. Just makes this pen so much more enjoyable to write with. Now, the other reason, if you've lasted this long into the video, the other reason why I'm doing this is I want to show you guys, give you a little prelude into my next video. And that is going to be about this guy. Yes, I have another one. Another Moonman M100, and I will do a more detailed review on this one. This pen is beautiful. If you are already not following me on Instagram, I actually have pictures of this pen up on Instagram, so check it out. Kind of give you guys again a close-up. That ink is just so cool. It's my only shimmering ink that I own. I need to really get more into shimmering ink. I know a lot of